Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Sever7, and today we are taking a look at the Jack Wolf Gateway Barlow. That's, of course, with the ultimate goal of seeing if it's worth adding to your collection or your daily carrier rotation. Now, I did buy this knife with my own money, and this was designed by Jack Wolf, and the OEM for Jack Wolf is unknown, so we're not sure who made it. Now, the scales are made of steel for the bolster area, and then we've got this blue bone, which looks really clean. I like that it's a very poppy, like bright blue. And I'm not sure if this dark blue spot is on all of them or if it's unique to this one. But if it's unique to this one, adding some character is very nice. Our backspacer is completely flush. Looks really, really good. And then we don't have a pocket clip. So this would go into a slip, which I don't believe it came with a slip. No, it did not. So you'll want to get a slip, or if you've ever bought a Tuya knife, they come with pocket slips, or you can go to the Jack Wolf website and pick one up. Plenty of high quality, stylish, leather pouches, or what do you call those? I completely forgot. A little leather pouch for a slip joint is called a. It's not a sheath, but you get what I'm saying. There's plenty of them out there. You can pick them up for 20 to 50 bucks. I personally would lean towards the 50 bucks because if you do that, you'll probably buy one and not have to replace it for a long time. So, and plus those slips can add a little personality to your overall carry. So if you want like all black leather, or if you want something a little more stylish, a little more classic, you can get a brown leather. Or you can go crazy and get, a matching leather to this and just be blue on blue. But, this knife is inexpensive enough that you could just toss it in your pocket also, without the need for a slip at all. Now, as far as the hardware goes, this is pin construction. And you can, sorry for the shake, you can see the pins throughout, which means this is not a knife that you can disassemble. They do that because pins are a lot easier than putting screws in. But for me, also, it gives it a much classier look than if you have screws going through it. So pin construction is fine for me. And you have the matching pins on the backside scale. Now, as far as the ergonomics go, we'll come back to the Walkin Talk a little bit later. We have a nice neutral handle, which means your hand can go wherever the heck you want it to. I do get a full 4-finger grip, which is nice. But with the handle being so neutral, it's very comfortable, right? Because you don't have any suggestion spots, no hot spots. Now, the edges aren't necessarily knocked down too much. On the steel, it is. Down here, it's not, but it's also not a hot spot. So I feel pretty comfortable that I can squeeze down, bear down on the knife, and it's going to be perfectly fine. We have no jimping whatsoever, and we are certainly butt heavy, but that's going to be just because of all the steel that's in the handle is going to make it a lot heavier on the butt side than it is going to be the front side. But with how light this knife is in general, you're not sacrificing much with it being butt heavy. Like, you're not losing anything because the knife is so light. You're still going to feel like you're totally in control. You can do your precision cuts with ease. It's not like it's an 8.5-inch knife and you're mega butt heavy and it's a 5.5-ounce knife overall. That's simply not the case. This knife comes in at 3.1 ounces, which is right about perfect for daily carry. So the fact that it's maybe a 1/4 ounce heavier in the back isn't going to be something that really has an impact on you day to day. Now, as far as the blade goes, so I'm going to call it a clip point, but a clip point should be a straight line. And this definitely has some curve to it. However, it's closer to a clip point than it is to a Bowie. Now, if this tip came up a little bit higher, I'd say Bowie, but this is like pretty much on point with a clip point. I mean, if this was just completely straight, there'd be no arguments. I'd say, yep, clip point. But since we have that little bit of an upswept point, like we curve back up just a little bit, you could say Bowie as well and technically be right. But we're going to stick with clip point. We are rocking 14C 28N, which is basically the best super steel you can get in a budget range. Some people argue 154 cm, but 154 cm I tend to see above 100. 14C I can see below 100. And for below $100, 14C 28N is my favorite steel. It beats D2. It beats your, 9CR MOV. It beats your VG10. Pretty much any other budget steel you can think of, 14C 28N is going to come out on top. And we are rocking a full flat grind, which means this is going to be nice and slicey. It's not the tallest blade, so it's not going to be great for going through boxes, but it's going to be fantastic for cutting paper, opening boxes, cutting letters open, stuff like that. And then we still have some robustness towards the tip, which means we're going to be good to go for poking, stabbing, defending Slurpees. You know what I'm saying? So this knife, although somewhat simple, is really well equipped for daily carry. Now let's talk about the Walkin Talk. I would say we've got, as far as pull goes, I want to say we're probably 6 out of 10. So it's not hard to do, but, oh, sorry for the shake. What I don't like, though, is it's really hard to get unless you use the nail nick. And I don't like the nail nick so much because I feel like it tears my thumb up, or my thumbnail. Because whenever you get up to this halfway stop, it wants to shoot up faster than you're moving up. And it just feels like it jostles your nail. But from the halfway point, you can just grab the blade and pop it out. Let's check out the acoustics. Dang it. One more. I will say the overall walk and talk on this is nice. Like I said, not a huge fan of the... okay, there we go. Not a huge fan of the nail nick, but otherwise the overall walk and talk on this thing is pretty fantastic. And the acoustics are clinky, they're satisfying, very much enjoyable. Not the best I've heard on a slip joint, but for the price point, I would say pretty damn passable. Now, this is a slip joint, so we don't have any lock bar. It's a non-locking knife, so it's just pull open, push closed, and that's it. The half stop is excellent, because what that means is you don't want to be up here when you close it because you will cut yourself. But if you're choked down here and you, say, push the blade closed with your thumb, you still have plenty of clearance, right? So I'm not at any risk of being cut. And then from here, I'm just going to put my thumb and my finger on the handle and then close it. You have to be careful, though, because this thing drops down pretty hard. So if you have your finger in the way, you're definitely going to cut yourself. And that's not just this knife. That's the nature of any slip joint. Now, I would consider this lefty friendly because you can operate it, since it's a non-locking knife, you can operate it left-handed. The finger groove is only on the right side, but holding it like this, it's easier for me to do this with my in my left side hand than it is my right side. Actually, I wonder, can I? Yeah, I can. Okay, cool. I'll open it that way from now on then. So I would say yes, it is lefty friendly, and there's no pocket clip, so it's an ambidextrous carry. Now, as far as overall length goes, we're looking at about 6.9 inches. We're going to grab the Kubi Verajero, or no, not Verajero, sorry, the Kubi Velvet Snake. Sorry, still organizing knives, so I don't have the usual lineup out here. And the Velvet Snake is going to dwarf it. We're also going to do the Wee Kite Fin Button Lock. Also going to dwarf it pretty heavily. And then, not that this is going to help anybody, but last we're going to do the Orbital Knives Fornax. One of my favorite knives of the year. And it also dwarfs it. As far as the blade length, we're looking at 2.98 inches, which gives us a blade to handle ratio of 0.76 or 76%. And then, like I mentioned earlier, we have a weight of 3.1 inches. Now, what's the price of this bad boy? This guy is coming in at a very impressive $69.99. So for 70 bucks, you're getting a stylish, good-looking belt satin slip joint with 14C28N and really an ideal, affordable slip joint option for daily carry. This knife is probably the best value knife you can get at 70 bucks, provided that you like. What? Why am I? Huh, that was weird. So for me, I absolutely recommend this knife. They have different variations. I think the, why am I flashing like that? Okay, well, we're just gonna muscle through. They have different variations like carbon fiber, which I really like. They have this blue bone. I believe they have a micarta one as well, and then there's a fourth variant. But yeah, this knife is absolutely worth it. This would be a daily user for me, not a collection piece. This is something I would happily carry with me and have faith that it's going to do all my EDC tasks. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why it's flashing like that. I probably need to order a new phone. But we're going to go ahead and wrap the video. That way you're not stuck looking at this, seizure light. But I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Peace.